still let me sleep.
Nay, come, I prithee. Would thou'dst be ruled by me?
Madam, I will.
Shakespeare in Performance is a course offered at Ave Maria University, and it's also an acting troupe. We specialize in producing the plays according to Shakespeare's originalist practices. All right, go ahead.
Original practices is performing Shakespeare as it was meant to be on what is known as a thrust stage in the light, and it's unique because it does allow for a play of relationship between audience and stage.
And with a green and yellow melancholy, we prove much in our vows, but little in our love.
A thrust stage is where an audience surrounds the place in which the actors work on three sides instead of the audience being here and the stage being here. They come in on both sides.
And so I frequently get to sit along the wall, obliquely against the scene, and I get to see other audience members reacting to the scene.
For example, one year I was there with my wife, and one of the cast members started wooing my wife, playing guitar, kneeling in front of her, and it was awesome. It was hilarious, and most importantly, it just enhanced the experience because you were part of it.
Some people actually, when they see a number where we have audience interaction like this, absolutely love it, and it's kind of a charming signature stroke of our productions.
Audience interaction can change the performance because at times you'll have an audience that doesn't like to respond.
Whereas other audiences are like, pick me, like, talk to me. It might have since been answered and repaying what we took from them, which, for traffic's sake, most of our city did. So, in a sense, each performance is very different because we respond to the audience's responses to us.
The role of music in Shakespeare is really more important than I think people realize. First of all, Shakespeare wrote quite a few songs for the plays that were an integral part of the text conception.
Shakespeare used music of his time that his audiences would recognize in his shows so that they had a little bit more of a connection, and that's exactly what we do. We get music that's, played on the radio and that people really will know and they'll recognize, and it makes them feel like they're included in the show.
But it is a kind of break in the action, and it's kind of this extra textual moment, right? It's not scripted, and yet it's magnificent and it fits with the dramatic arc as a whole.
I think the original practices have actually made me more comfortable in acting. It's actually helped me become more confident in my classes, in my daily life, and just talking to people and being able to really connect to them, because when we're on stage, we have to connect with the people that we're on stage with. We have to talk to them. I could condemn it as an improbable fiction.
Growing up in high school, I thought Shakespeare was frankly weird. But when I went to see Shakespeare in Performance for the first time, because of the way they played the language, they knew what they were saying. There was a communication that invited you into the language of the time so that it felt natural, like you were a part of that. Indeed! That were I taken here, it would scarce be answered. We create this family together. We each bring our individual talents and throw them into this communal pool.
I've been with the troupe since its very beginning, and it's been a wonderful experience. I've changed tremendously since my first year.
The availability of original practices at the university level is an important opportunity.
Students become much more attentive to the text. They begin to see how important word choice is, how important the meter of it is, because they're not only reading it on the paper, but they're having to act it out in front of a live audience. They bring this attentiveness to the language, to the text, into the rest of their studies. They become better students. And at the end of it, they're a fine actor, they've taken responsibility, they have new friends, and they wouldn't have given up the experience for anything in the world. That's special.